Alright, excuse me about that, guys. Alright, guys, this is going to be another review, another Exploring the Arsenal Extra episode, featuring the M960 review. I know that wasn't really my usual introduction to one of my reviews, but I'm kind of tired because I'm now currently pulling an all-nighter because I just realized while I was doing my daily jobs for Combat Arms for Friday, I realized I went up step to like 2 or 3 in the morning, and I need to go somewhere in the morning Saturday related to my class. It's just like a small extra credit lecture thing, so it's not too big of a deal. But in any case, if I sleep now, then I feel like I'm not gonna be able to wake up in time for that. So yeah, I've decided to just stay up the entire night and hope that I don't crash later on in the day. It's Saturday, so no one really gives a shit. But in any case, this is going to be a review on the M960 submachine gun. I promised that I would do this review like a month before, and I still haven't gone around to doing it because I'm a lazy faggot. But in any case, now that I do have the time and I actually remember to do it, let's get started on the review on the M960. You guys have already probably seen gameplay of it through like random gameplay requests or gameplays on other commentaries of mine. But in any case, this is an actual review, so let's get started. The M960 is actually called the helical M960. I'm not really too sure what nationality it is, but I mean, this is just information taken off from Commodore's wiki anyway, so yeah, it's apparently called the helical M960, as in the color or the cat, whichever comes first. And yeah, let's jump to the statistics here. Because that Nexon brought back the permanent sales on all NX standard weapons now, I believe. The M960 is now available for permanent purchase for 24,900 NX again, so that's obviously a good thing. If you guys like the M960, then you guys have a chance to get a perm. Alright, so because this is an NX standard only variant or weapon, it has no other variants, so this is why I'm giving it I'm titling it extra, because it's a standalone review that has no other variants. I mean, then again, Nexon could pull a fast one on me and release an M960 variant in the future. I don't know, because that's what they've been doing to the. Like, first they've done that to the FNG9 Magpul, and then now they're doing the CZ Scorpion Evo 381, which they released the Rates Epic version of like just the other day in the last patch. And so yeah, other than that, let's get started talking about the actual stats itself on the M960. So the damage on the M960 is clocked in at 34 damage. Now, if I'm not mistaken, okay, so first of all, let's just make this clear. The M960 performs pretty. It behaves and feels like the P90. Mechanically speaking, it's got the same sprint animation as the P90TR. It's got the same reload animation, pretty much, and it's got the it's pretty much got all the same mechanics as like a P90TR or a P90TR SC for that matter. So, or if you want to really be technical, the Viper's P90TR as well. So you can consider the M960 as like some retarded younger cousin or younger brother of the P90TR, because it's really kind of a derpy weapon that kind of behaves like the P90TR, just of the way it feels and performs. But it's got its advantages. I'm not really too sure if you guys like them, but whatever. In any case, it does have a 34 damage. I believe that all other P90 variants do deal a 35 damage, if I'm mistaken, so the M960 is 1 point weaker than the P90, but honestly speaking, I feel that the M960 is just as powerful as even like your normal GP standard P90, so I'm not too sure if the damage rating is accurate on Commodore's wiki, because that's where I'm taking my stats from, but for me personally, I just feel that the M960 is just as powerful as the P90TR, or the P90 or the P90TR. Definitely not as powerful as the P90TR SC, because the P90TR SC, if you guys don't recall, has a 36 damage, and I know for a fact that the M960 doesn't feel like it has a 36 damage. So while 34 damage might be a little bit too low for what its true damage is actually like, at the same time, it's definitely no more powerful than the P90TR, at least. Portability is clocked at 85, so this might actually be the same as the P90s as well. I'm gonna have to check on that, but I believe they're the same. But in any case, it is still very portable. It is a submachine gun after all, so it's a little bit different than your other NX standard submachine guns. Like most of them had like 88 or more portability. This one just has 85, so it kind of feels like the P90 just in its portability alone. Rate of fire is also clocked in at 82. I believe the P90s also have a similar rate of fire as the M960 as well. So yeah, just another point in the fact that the M960 is just very similar to the P90 series. Accuracy. The accuracy on the M960 is at a 68, and I believe it's average, I suppose. I mean, typically speaking, accuracy doesn't really mean much on the M960, so you don't really need to worry about it too much. And the recoil is clocked in at 63. Now, I forgot exactly what kind of recoil or what recoil statistic that the P90TR has, but for the M960, let's talk about each recoil aspect specifically. The recoil spread is kind of big. Its max spread is comparable to the P90s, but I feel that the M960's rate at which its spread increases is a little bit faster than the P90s. And on top of that, the recoil kickback is also more pronounced than it is on the P90 or any other of the P90 variants. While the GP standard P90, when you spray with it, you'll notice that your first couple shots will kick the P90 straight up, and it'll start going a little bit side to side, but it's like marginally, and overall it keeps going upward. It keeps going vertically upwards. But as for the M960, it immediately, after like 1 or 2 shots, it immediately goes like really heavy side to side. It's not as heavy as like other submachine guns like the freaking CZ. If you spray for that thing for long enough, which isn't really a long time given its rate of fire, then you'll notice that it goes side to side really badly. It depends on how you play with it, that is, but for the M960, it's pretty pronounced. Even though it doesn't have a very fast rate of fire compared to other NX standard submachine guns, you'll definitely notice that the recoil is a little bit heavy, especially on the kickback part. So you're gonna have to control that, and you're gonna have to predict and compensate for its recoil kickback. That's one of the main cons of the M960, the fact that its recoil spread, while it is predictable, it's kind of much compared to other submachines like the P90TR and other NX standard submachines. This is one of the main reasons why people don't really like this gun. Also, on top of that, it's kind of derpy looking. Moving on to the recoil controllability. Overall, I would say that the M960, given its lower rate of fire than compared to other submachine guns, it's relatively easy to maintain, but the kickback can still be a problem, especially if you've never handled the M960 before. So yeah, it's definitely controllable. It's definitely easy to master, but you're gonna have to work on it a little bit, especially if you're not used to a gun like the M960. As for its Tapfire ability, it's a submachine gun. I mean, you can Tapfire with it, but I mean, good luck with that. Sprint drawback. So the sprint drawback, like I mentioned before, the sprint animation, all aspects of the M960 mechanical, behavior is pretty much identical to the P90TR. So we'll skip the sprint drawback, the draw speed, the center speed, all that crap. I mean, even the center speed is pretty similar to P90TRs as well. Now let's see the reload speed. Now here's where it gets a little bit different, not by much, but it does get a little bit different. The M960 does have a faster reload speed than the P90TR. The reason for this is because while they both have the same base reload animation, the M960 skips the part where on the P90TR, when you reload the P90TR, if you guys noticed by the gameplay, the M960 and the P90s both reload with helical magazines. That's why they are able to hold 50 rounds each, because the helical structure of their magazines allow for more bullets to be stored in a bigger container. And unlike your conventional firearm, where bullets are fed through a standard magazine through the bottom of the barrel, the helical magazines typically feed through the top of the barrel. That's why it allows for a lot more bullets to be stored in a single compartment. Because the M960 and the P90s both feature this helical style of a magazine, they naturally both have similar reload animations. However, on the P90TR, the P90TR, your character needs to cock back the bolt on the left side of the P90TR, whereas the M960, even though on its draw animation, your character does pull back the bolt, while your character reloads the M960, it doesn't have that. So if you were comparing the reload speeds, the M960 would win because it kind of shaves off like a second or a second. I'd say a second off your reload speed because your character doesn't have to go through that extra reload animation of pulling back the bolt. So in that respect, the M960 is more advantageous. And moving on to the fire modes, I mean, the M960 is only available in fully automatic, nothing too special there. Its luck, I would say, given its recoil aspects, it is not as lucky as, say, like the P90. The P90s are pretty good headshot machines if you train yourself with them, but the M960, because of its recoil kickback, it's pretty difficult compared to, like, you know, the P90TR to get, you know, to pick up headshots or pick up lottos if you aim for their heads. Well, if you aim, then it's not really a lotto anymore, but who knows? Who's ever gonna know that you're actually aiming for heads, you know? But anyways, that's for its luck. The ammo capacity is the same as it is on most of the P90s at 50 rounds per magazine and 2 magazines each. So the M960 does unfortunately suffer the same problem that plagues the P90, the P90TR, and the P90 SE, in that all of those guns only have 2 magazines of 50 bullets each. So yeah, you're gonna be running out of ammo very, very quickly, so that's something you just have to expect when using this gun. Moving on to the key physical characteristics, right away, you can tell that the M960 is a very, very unique design. I mean, it looks something like a gun straight out of Star Trek or something like that. I don't know. I've never watched Star Trek. Heresy. Anyways, but yeah, it just looks very, very futuristic, just like how the AUG A3 kind of looks futuristic, and the M960 does feature a helical magazine, just like the P90 as well. So look for that as well if you're trying to see what the M960 looks like. If you guys can't tell already by the gameplay. Moving on to the muzzle noise. The muzzle noise on the M960 is a very, very, it's like a scratching but low frequency kind of noise. I would say that it kind of compares to the G3's muzzle noise, in fact. So they sound similar, but you can definitely, you can kind of differentiate between the two. Attachment options. I believe you can only attach suppressors to the M960, if I'm not mistaken, because you definitely can't add a scope on the M960 because the helical magazine is on the top. I mean, it's kind of tough to attach a scope onto an actual magazine itself, if you know what I mean. So, unfortunately, you can't attach scopes, but you can attach suppressors, and because it's already got 50 rounds in a magazine, it doesn't make any sense for you to be able to attach extended mags on this thing. So, unfortunately, suppressors only. Fire team worthy? Not really, because first of all, it's a submachine gun. It's a weak submachine gun at that, given its damage, and on top of that, it only has 100 rounds total. So no. Is it quarantine worthy? Not really as quarantine worthy as our other submachine guns. So, I mean, it doesn't have enough ammo. It's not as portable as those standard submachine guns, and I mean, recoil might throw you off as well. So, don't see how it's gonna work out, to be honest. And as for my frank personal opinions, the M960 is actually a very decent submachine gun. It's definitely not the best, but if you take your time with it and really get to know the ins and outs of the gun and learn to observe how it performs, then definitely the M960 can be a very effective submachine gun. But at the same time, if you compare this to the P90TR, because obviously those two submachine guns are very similar to each other, there's really no reason why that you should ever get the M960. Nexon needs to do this, needs to buff the M960 somehow, so that there's incentive to get the M960, because the only thing that the M960 offers over the P90TR is a faster reload speed. But even then, it's only like what, a second longer. And compared to what the P90TR offers players over the M960, the M960 just can't compare. The P90TR is lower recoil, it's got an integrated suppressor, you can attach any kind of scope on it like you want if you so choose. There's really nothing that the M960 offers over the P90ATR. I mean, of course, like I mentioned just now, that there's reload speed, but passive reload speed can only get you so far by itself. I mean, it's not like it's a dramatic cut in reload speed where it just completely slashes the reload speed in half. No, that's not it. So, yeah, it's a good submachine gun, don't get me wrong. It's just that Nexon kind of derped and didn't really make the M960 kind of stand out, you know? I mean, people are going to be pointing at it and say, oh, that's a cool looking submachine gun, but when they pick it up and try it out, they're not going to notice what's so different about this between this and the P90TR. So, I think that's the biggest reason why, or that's the reason why the M960 is not as used as often. So, it's a good submachine gun, but it just doesn't have the recognition that it deserves, and maybe Nexon can do something about it by either releasing another variant of it that's better than the original, or buff something about the M960 so that, you know, people, it seems more attractive to people who are, you know, shopping for NX standard submachine guns and looking through and seeing, okay, which one can I get, which one looks good, you know. So anyways, those are just my 2 cents on the M960. So thank you guys very much for watching, and yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this review on the M960. Hope you guys some of you guys actually do give it a shot once you come across it anytime soon. And I'll see you guys next time in another review. So yeah, see you guys later.
Round start.